My name is Jeff Cross. I'm the Media Director with ISSA. I'm here with Michael Grant to talk about something unique coming to ISSA. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Tell us about your company and what you do.
So my name's Michael Grant. I'm the co-founder of Smart Building Bootcamp. We're an online educational business and we've broken education down in smart buildings into bite-sized chunks because everyone's really busy. No one has enough time to sit through 15, 16, 17 hours in one go. So we created an online platform during COVID when people needed to keep learning but couldn't get to classes. And we've grown ever since, getting more and more detail into smart buildings. So online education and a platform and a community to help people learn at their pace.
So what does this mean for ISSA?
It means continued education and a fast way to get ongoing education into the hands of all of your members. ISSA has built a great community over the years, and education is becoming more and more important because technology is moving faster than it ever has. But how do you keep education moving as quickly as that? So we created Smart Building Bootcamp many years ago. We've got 4 or 5 years of experience in doing this and building courses. So our partnership helps ISSA accelerate the education for its members without having to build this from scratch. You know, you've already got a community, we've got a training community. Bringing those two together can only help accelerate, people's learning in this space.
So thinking about that, the challenge of not knowing where to start.
Yes.
Talk about the most common challenges you uncover that those watching will say, I have those issues.
Yeah, I think, we've been good at building, designing and running buildings for years. Nothing really changed, and it was mentioned this morning in one of the talks that we're here at the event that now technology is changing everything. It's about employee experience, customer experience, tenant experience. Those were words that were and sayings that were never known 3, 4 or 5 years ago, but because technology is moving, people need to move with it, and people will be hearing different words that they've never heard before. So having an education system that you can dip in and out of, when you think, I heard something about hoteling or tenant experience or an employee experience app, you can dip into our course, find those parts that you have heard that you may not necessarily understand, and learn about those piece by piece.
A couple words here that I discovered: smart buildings, AI, digital real estate. Those can sound intimidating. So what do you do to help with all that, to understanding it, putting it into practical use for those in the cleaning industry?
I think the first thing is, a lot of people have used AI and jargon to make it sound complicated and hard, and that you need a specialist to come in and help you with it. And you can't do it, Jeff, but I can. So what we're doing is we're breaking down the barriers to help people understand this is not actually hard. Jargon is perplexing sometimes, but what we do with Smart Building Bootcamp, we take the jargon away and we put AI into practical terms. So rather than learning everything about AI and how the data sets are built and how you train the data, we put it into practical terms of how can you use AI to produce better cleaning schedules? How can you do more with less? So we break down the technology and the jargon so people can really understand it, and anything they hear in their day-to-day roles, they can go back into the course, as I mentioned earlier, and they can then become an expert. They can talk in confidence about things that they may not have known about before.
Why is right now the time to learn about smart buildings and have this discussion?
Technology is moving faster than ever. More and more technology is coming in. The power of the control of a building is going into the hands of the users through employee experience apps or tenant apps. And then you've got the buzzword of AI. So technology is moving faster. Buildings are developing faster. People want more and more quality from their buildings, and more quality means smarter buildings, smarter solutions. So you need to keep up with that. As we said again, the pace has never been faster. Learning has never been more important, so people can stay relevant and current, both in their roles, if they're happy to stay in their role, but if they're growing their career and they want to get further, then you need to educate. But you need to do it at your own pace as well.
So we're in a modern building right now.
Yes.
What are the shifts, the new technology, the things that are happening that are cutting edge that they need to know about right now, paying attention to?
I think from a BSc perspective, and again, it was mentioned in the talk earlier, thinking outside the box, thinking differently about how you do more with less, because there's a lot of pressure. I didn't realize how small the margins were until I read the information this morning. But you need to ask your customer, what do they really need? from the solution you're delivering. But I'll give you an example. Everyone used to talk about IoT and sensors. They're expensive to roll out, they're hard to deploy, it takes a very long time. You can do the same thing to measure occupancy with Wi-Fi data now that will give you information about heating and cooling schedules, occupancy, cleaning, and then divestment of real estate. So those types of things are moving fast, and real estate's changed since COVID. So no one needs as much space as they needed before. And if you don't need as much space, there's not as much space to clean, and there's not as much energy to keep running.
So the role of those doing the cleaning, facility managers, BSCs, how do you see their role evolving over time as we think about this conversation?
More and more facility managers and people involved in the cleaning industry are being asked to become smarter. But here's an app. We're going to use an app to do our cleaning rotas and cleaning schedule. It's on a phone. It's
I have
on
lots
a
of
tablet.
apps.
Yeah. Well, but now people are given an iPad and expected to go and do cleaning schedules and rotas and start workflows. If you need to raise a ticket, there's an issue on the 10th floor of this building. No one comes and fills out a form anymore. Someone will do it on an employee app or a tenant experience app. It'll start a workflow. That workflow then gets a ticket raised. All of that is now automated and done electronically and digitally. There's nothing manual anymore. So people need to keep learning to stay current with what's going on. Everything's becoming more and more digital and less manual. Even though you still need the humans, digital is taking over from manual.
If you're an ISSA member wondering whether this training is worth your time, talk about the skills, insights, or advantages that Smart Building Bootcamp will give them.
There's a lot in the course, and everything from AI to sustainability to smart workplace to tenant experience app to energy, and anyone who's in a BSc firm is hearing about this and listening to this in conversations daily. So what we've done is we've built that into bite-sized chunks so people can digest it at their own leisure, but also you get a year's worth of access. The worst thing that can happen is someone says, we need to go and do this training course. In Australia, we've got a term called sheep dipping. So you get a sheep, you dip it in the liquid, and then it's done in one go. People who have to learn intensely for an hour or 2 hours, they lose 80% of that when they walk out the room. So if you've got a platform that you can log in and you've got a year's worth of access to all of the current courses and then all the new courses that we keep adding and building in, you've got an ongoing education that you can go back to time and time again. And again, the more you can go back to it, the more you retain and the smarter you'll become in the industry that is evolving faster than many others.
Dipping sheep?
Yes.
I didn't know we were going to talk about that.
It's an Australian term.
Thank you for sharing that. That's interesting. Okay, so for those watching who want to learn more, how do they find you and get your help?
How you find us is you go to smartbuildingbootcamp.com, and when you get on there, you'll see all the courses listed out, all the different segments. There are some free things on there to dip your toe in the water and have a look. There's a 10-week free email campaign program as well, training program. Or if you want to go in and start doing the courses, you can go type in Altus10 and it will give you a 10% discount straight away. So it's one of the things that we both said we'd offer to people wanting to start learning now. So a discount is the best way to start.
Thank you for the introduction, and I look forward to talking about the success that members are getting by using your course.
Thank you, mate.